After coming into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell to the ground and worshipped him. Then opening their treasures, they presented to him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Merry Christmas from Patty Bowles and staff at B-Way Design and Decorating, 1000 East Main Street in Fairfield.
Real Life Radio, 90.9 The Vine.
90.9 The Vine, in conjunction with AreaSports.net, proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch is 60 minutes of great local sports talk each and every Saturday morning as we visit with area coaches, athletes, and other media personnel to cover the area of sports that's most important to you. Who will be on the couch this morning? Let's find out. The Sports Couch is on the air right now. Good morning again, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch, and I hope you've had yourself a great Thanksgiving holiday so far. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment, and basketball season is off and running, both boys and girls. A lot of games, a lot of turkey tournaments going on, and of course you can check the scoreboard on our sports website at AreaSports.net, which we're going to run through some of those here in just a minute with Danny. Danny, did you eat plenty of turkey and dressing and all the trimmings?
Yeah, had plenty.
I love the leftovers too.
We had those yesterday.
I've been tearing up the leftovers and the pumpkin pie and all that kind of stuff. And my daughter and her husband came up from Florida, and they brought a key lime pie up with them from Florida.
I saw a picture of that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, key lime pie from Florida. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Pretty good, is it?
Pretty good. Yeah, it'll make you pucker though. It's pretty rich, but it is good. You just can't eat too much in one sitting. But hey, boy, a lot of great basketball games already, and been some surprises. We've kind of started seeing an anticipation of who some of the better teams might be, Danny, as some of the cream rises to the top, so to speak. But good starts on the season for the Fairfield Mules. They win a couple games. Mount Vernon jumps out and wins their first two games in a tournament they're in. How about those Wayne City Indians? They're off to a good start. They'll play for third place tonight down at Christopher. And
yeah, I'd say there's some guys wondering about the decision they made.
I think so, and I think you're probably referring to some of those seniors that decided not to go out for basketball this year at Wayne City, which is a darn shame, really, because you only get one shot at that in life, and you can't do any redos. But Coach Corrona has come in, and he's working with what he's got there at Wayne City, and they win their first game, and they narrowly lose the second game in overtime.
Yeah, lost to a good Christopher team, 65-63 in overtime.
On Christopher's floor.
Or they'd be in the championship game.
I know. So we'll have Coach Corona on with us this morning. We'll have Coach Doug Creel of Mount Vernon on with us. We'll also have Coach Scott McElravy of the Fairfield Mules on with us. Going to talk to Coach Russ Gerlach here in just a few moments, too, as his Edwards County team is playing up in the Cumberland tournament. They lost their first two games, but then they bounced back and got a win, so we'll talk to him about that. And you've been watching the Lady Foxes play down there in that Hamilton County tournament, and they've been looking good, and we'll talk to Coach Clint Winemiller about the tent tournament so far.
Yeah, they're 3-0 headed into today's action. They got a game at 11:30 this morning. Looks like it's going to be a setup between them and Edwards County. Looks like both teams should be 4-0 going into the night's matchup at 8 o'clock.
All right, so we'll get to those coaches here in just a moment. But, Danny, you want to run through some of the scores for us?
Yeah, last night, good Cesar teams off to a good start. They beat West Frankfort 81-65, and West Frankfort upset Pinckneyville earlier in the week. At the Christopher tournament, New Athens beat ZR 65-27, and Thompsonville, a team that a lot of people are talking about in some 1A, beat Jimmy Tucker's NCOE Fighting Cardinals 47-35. At the Crab Orchard, it was Crab Orchard 68, Egyptian 48, Pope County 69, Dongola 32, and Alvarado 51, Joppa 42. Up at Cumberland, Edwards County got their first win of the season over Oblong 61-47. Casey Westfield beat Altamont 67-55. Casey Westfield must have a pretty good team. I think they're playing pretty well up there. Charleston beat Cumberland 91-83 in 2 overtimes. At the Lawrence County Classic, Red Hill beat Mount Carmel 51-46, Alany 59, Salem 33, T-Town 73, Marshall 53. Fairfield beat Lawrenceville 62-57. T-Town beat Mount Carmel 59-30. So it looks like the Aces are having a little trouble scoring, Randy.
They are.
Fairfield beat Alany 59-52. Marshall 69, Red Hill 66, and Salem beat Lawrenceville 63-59 in overtime.
All right, those are some of the scores. And, again, you can check out the full scoreboard of what's been going on here during all these turkey tournaments on our sports website at AreaSports.net. He mentioned the score there from Edwards County as they picked up their first win of the season, as they got a win over Oblong 61-47 in the Cumberland Thanksgiving tournament. And they'll be back in action today. And we will visit right now with head coach Russ Gerlach of the Lions. Good morning, Russ. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys today?
Great. Good to have you on the Sports Couch. Hope you've had yourself a great Thanksgiving so far. Are you eating plenty?
Yeah, I got plenty of food Thursday for sure. Took a little bit easy yesterday trying to recover.
Yeah. Well, you had a couple of tough losses there to start the Cumberland tournament, but you bounced back with a nice win over Oblong. So let's let you walk us through those games, and whichever one you want to start with. Go ahead.
Well, we'll start the first night against Altamont. No, we played pretty well against them overall. Defensively, I thought even though they scored it seemed like a lot, we played a lot harder than we did last year on defense. We just had way too many turnovers against them, and a lot of them were our own faults. I mean, they put a lot of pressure on you, and they're up in passing lanes. They're trying to pick your pocket all the time, but a lot of them were things that we were doing that we probably shouldn't have tried. And we sort of fixed that a little bit against Casey Westfield, but there's a reason why they're ranked pretty high. They're really good. They've got all five guys can score, and all five guys play defense, and they're subs. They don't lose a lot when they bring them in. And like I said, I felt like we played better against them, but we didn't play great. Neither game, did we shoot the ball well. I know we had the long football season, which was great for our school, and I don't know if that's part of the reason why we're not shooting as well, but we struggled both those games shooting. Last night against Oblong, they've got two kids that really can score. They gave us some fits, but our offensive game really stepped up. We took care of the basketball much better. I think our turnovers was at 13 instead of being in the 20s, and I think we had 8 or 9 threes. Got some stuff going on the inside as well. So much better played game on the offensive end, which always makes you feel a lot better when you don't turn the ball over as much as we have been.
Yeah, that Casey Westfield team, we've all heard a lot of good things about them. So do they have size too, or what all do they have? What makes them so tough?
I believe his last name's Richards. He's 6'6", and I bet I don't know, he's all of 280.
I heard 275.
Wow.
I was gonna say he's and
Wow.
Somebody said how good is he? I'm like, well, at our level, anybody that's that big and that wide, they can create enough space that when they can catch it, they can turn and shoot. It's hard to get up in there and give him contestant much. And he's not just a big body who just turns and lays it in. He's got a mid-range game that's pretty nice, and he can catch the ball at the post and pass. I mean, he's a solid all-around player to go along with the big frame. And then they've got a couple kids, I can't remember the names right now, but they got a couple of kids that can shoot the three. And, their point guard does a good job of pushing it up and running the offense, and he can attack the hole when he needs to. And like I said, they're well rounded. They all have a role. They all embrace their role. They get after it on defense, and they're just really solid. You don't really look at them and say there's just one weakness.
So are you going to play Dietrich today then? Is that who you've got?
Yes, they beat Newton last night. The game after us, I stayed up there and watched it. If I remember right, Newton hit a three with about 6 seconds left to go to tie the ball game, and then Dietrich's able to come down and get a foul and hit a couple of the line to seal it with about a second left.
Wow. Okay. So you'll be in the fifth place game then, I assume. Is that right?
Yeah, fifth place game. But yeah, at 3:00.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, after those first 3 games that you've played now, you've had a chance to kind of assess your team. What do you feel like some of your strengths are, and what are some of your weaknesses or things that you need to work on after seeing these guys in the first 3 games?
Well, we really wanted to try to push the ball again this year, and we've got a lot of guys on our team that can handle the ball, and I felt like could lead the break, but unfortunately we didn't feel like it was working those first 2 games. It felt like we were a little out of control, and we didn't have guys run to certain spots. We were just all kind of running, and we spent Wednesday getting back to let's get the ball to the point guard. Let's get our wings running down the sideline. Let's get a big run down the middle, kind of like we used to, and let's be a little more controlled on the fast break. And that really looked a lot better last night. I don't know how many fast break points we had, but we at least looked a lot more organized, under control, and we didn't have as many turnovers, like I said earlier. Against the zone last night, our zone offense looked good. The kids know what to do, and they know the areas to hit and everything. don't feel like our man-to-man offense is where it needs to be. Some of that was the pressure that these other teams put on compared to our JV kids in practice. Some of it I feel like was just we weren't really going full speed in it. You know, we talked about last year, and sometimes we're actually late. You know, a lot of teams are lazy on defense and really get after on offense. And I felt like at times we were the other way around. We would guard them pretty hard, but then on offense we just kind of went through the motions. And, you know, we talked about how we have to constantly be cutting hard and, you know, make sure we're screening hard, doing all those little things like that. You know, we also talked about getting the ball in the paint more, whether that's off the bounce or whether that's on a pass. I did some stats, and I said that, you know, we're scoring over 50% of the time when the ball touches the paint somehow. So we've got to constantly try to work the ball in, whether it's for a layup or a kick-out three. We just seem to do better by, you know, getting the ball inside and working from there.
That's an interesting stat that you put together there. You know that you score 50% of the time when the ball touches the paint. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, and we were under 10% when it never made it. So
that's,
you know,
that's really a big stat then.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty obvious thing. And I know I'm not the first guy to come up with this. I know some of the coaches at Albany Central College pretty well, and we were discussing that this summer, and I think they do a similar stat. And I can't remember which college team they were talking about. I think it may have been Villanova was talking about, you know, getting the ball to touch the paint and then going from there. Usually, you know, it gets the defense out of whack a little bit, and it makes whatever shot you get easier.
Well, you know, Russ, I've heard a lot of coaches say the game has to start. It needs to start on the inside and work its way out. And some teams have got into mode with this three-point shot. They want to start on the outside and try to work their way in. And it's not near as successful, and the stat you just gave just pretty well backs that up.
Well, a lot of times it depends on who you got inside, too. We've got some guys that can score inside, and we've got some guys that can get to the hole off the dribble. So, you know, it does make it a little bit better for us personally, but I've also seen some teams that don't have the size, and it is a little bit harder to get in. But we definitely want to start in there and work our way out.
Your opponent today, the Dietrich Moving Maroons, in that fifth-place game at the Cumberland Tournament. What do you know about the Moving Maroons?
Well, I think they lost a lot of guys from last year. We played them last year, and none of the names the names all seem familiar because they seem to be kind of like a Newton or a T-Town. They got a lot of the same names every year.
A lot of Niebergies and
yeah.
Niemergs and stuff like that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but the players, I believe, are a little bit different. They got a couple kids that are really solid. Number 24, I think it's Harkey. He had 27 last night against Newton, and you know he doesn't seem overly quick, but man, he gets the hole well. And you know, I think he was 15 for 20 from the free throw line, so he draws a ton of fouls, and that's something I'm worried about with our guys today. We got to make sure that when he drives, we go straight up, and we don't need to be trying to block his shot and have him get us in foul trouble.
Have you noticed in the officiating them trying to put their emphasis on the things they're pointing out this season, or is things kind of shaking out? I noticed in the girls' game, it seemed like we're seeing a lot of fouls here in the early going.
I'll say I think there's been a few more rebounding fouls than maybe normal, or not normal, but what we had last year. But I wouldn't say it's a ton different. I mean, you know, our kids were fouling like crazy the first two games, and what we had one kid get a little foul trouble last night. But you know, I think those first two games for sure, those fouls were fouls on us. There was no doubt. Like I said, last night that was another point of emphasis for us last night was just to clean up the number of fouls, and I think we did that pretty well.
Russ, coming out of the Cumberland Tournament, who you have next on the schedule?
We go to Grayville next Tuesday. We're off Friday, and then from there we've got I believe home at Flora, and then home against Hamco, on the road at Lawrenceville and Fairfield, and then Christmas break.
Going to be a busy time, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say between the high school games and my son's in junior high. Yeah, I don't think I get a whole lot of nights at home the next couple of weeks, or months, actually.
I'll bet you love it, though, don't you?
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun, but say when Saturday afternoon rolls around, I take a little nap. I do enjoy it.
I understand. Hey, we appreciate your time this morning, and good luck today as you take on Dietrich in that fifth-place game, all right?
No problem. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care. All right, bye-bye. That's Coach Russ Gerlach of the Edwards County Lions. They lost their first two games, but, you know, it's a tough start for them playing against Casey, Westfield, and Altamont, two very good basketball teams.
That is two good teams, and like you said, coming, you know, people don't understand really the football aspect to the basketball aspect. I mean, the football aspect, you're just going out and you hit people and you run over them. The basketball people, you got to try to put a little finesse in this deal.
Right, yeah.
The hitting and running over people could be part of the reason.
Yeah.
Part of the reason his team's been in tremendous foul trouble early in the season.
That's right. It could have something to do with it. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk to Coach Doug Creel of the Mount Vernon Rams. They won their first 2 games down at the Pyramid Tournament, then ran into a tough Collinsville team last night. We'll talk to him about that coming up next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
It's the heating season, and Wainwright Propane and Sporting Goods reminds you that they have fast, reliable propane delivery service to your home or farm. And if you need those propane bottles filled up, you can bring them to Wainwright Propane and Sporting Goods for fast service. Looking for a wide selection of guns and ammunition? You'll find it at Wainwright Propane and Sporting Goods. You can even search online through our website at wainwrightpropane.com. And don't forget, we also have hot tubs and supplies for your hot tub as well at Wainwright Propane and Sporting Goods, located on West Main Street in Fairfield.
105.5 and 90.9 The Vine is thankful for the underwriting support of the Tin Shed in Wayne City. They are your source for primitive, country, and home decor in a wide selection to meet your decorating needs. The Tin Shed is located at 701 West Robinson in Wayne City, and their phone number is 895-2155.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio and streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson live in studio along with Danny Anselment. Going to shift gears and talk about the Pyramid Tournament now going on down in Heron all this week. It's another round-robin affair, and the Mount Vernon Rams won their first 2 games of that tournament as it looked pretty good. They defeated Meridian in the first game 68-50. And then defeated Marion 59-47. Ran into a buzzsaw last night with the Collinsville K-Hawks, but boy, I'll tell you what, Collinsville is the real deal, and they've been wreaking havoc on everybody so far in that tournament. The Rams lose last night 63-32. Joining us right now, the head coach of the Mount Vernon Rams, that's Doug Creel. Good morning, Doug. How are you?
Good morning.
Great to have you on the Sports Couch again. Good start to the week as you won those first 2 games, as I mentioned. And, boy, last night, though, you had your hands full with Collinsville, but I think a lot of people are going to have their hands full with Collinsville. They got size and they got speed, athleticism. They're just a good basketball team, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Those guys have been playing now since their freshman year. So, they're a good basketball team. They've got some guys that can shoot it, and drive, and guard you, and they got those big old horses on the glass. And, they're doing a good job, and we didn't play very well. They did a good job of containing the mirror, but we got to get into an offense. We just can't, put our head down and try to go drive and try to make it happen off 1 or 2 passes. And we've talked about that. So, we were able to do that against Meridian and Marion. Of course, against Collinsville, that doesn't work. And because of that, we get frustrated. But there are lessons to be learned. They're a very good basketball team. Lessons to be learned. We're disappointed that we didn't play a little better, but hopefully we can build off that. We got 2 tough games today. I know you're going to lead into that, but we got Heron, who beat us down there last year, basically with the same guys. I think they're very, very skilled. On the right night, Heron can be very dangerous, and here we are playing them on their home floor at their tournament early in the morning. And they got a big win last night against their rival Marion. So, we got our hands full today. We got to play well to get a win.
Yeah, you got Heron today at 11:30, and then you got Carterville tonight at 5:30. And you're right, playing Heron on their floor with their fans, that's going to be a challenge this morning for sure. You got to be ready to play.
Yeah, and then, Carterville, Shane's got his guys playing hard. They always do everything right, scrap and dig. And so if we have a little lull, our Dobbers are down a little bit today. I don't know really why. We just lost the ball game, and we weren't going to go undefeated, that's for sure. But we have a lot of weaknesses, but so does other people.
But we got a lot of weaknesses that we got to work on, improve on, and we got to find some energy this morning and play well. And if we don't, we're going to struggle. It'll be a long day for us. But we'll see what happens.
Well, Doug, when you look at a tournament like this, one of the things, there's not a lot of time to work on things, for one thing, and that creates a challenge in itself just because you play so many games in such a short period.
Well, that is true. That's the one drawback about playing in a tournament where you play 5 games right off the get-go. And also, we don't get back till 11:30 at night, and now we're heading back. We played that late game, and not making excuses, but that's just kind of the way it is. There's hardly any prep time, and we're hearing play before us. They drive a couple minutes to their bed where we're on the road and turn around. Then because basically we're going to play 3 games within before 24 hours is up. So I talked to our young guys about, hey, you got to come in and give us some energy, give us some play. Make some plays, and be a good opportunity for them to help us out.
Well, one thing about it today in this first game, your team matches up pretty well with Heron, though, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We do. We got to get down, play some defense, and hustle and work hard. And if we do those things, we should be fine. But Heron's very capable. Sometimes they're up and down, but they got some good skilled players. Those guys can drive, can shoot, can pass, can make plays. They got good quickness. I'm not going to say they're a great team, but we're not either. So, they're very capable of causing us all kinds of problems, especially if we're not playing well and we got our daubers down. We're not playing hard.
Well, you probably played one of the premier teams around Southern Illinois last night down there in Darren Lee's Collinsville team. He's a former teammate of mine, and I think he's pretty excited about this group he's got.
Well, they are. They're very good. We got a rude awakening last night. I think it hurt some guys' feelings, so we'll see how they respond. You can respond by getting tough, or you can respond by pouting. And seems like we got a culture of pouters now. And as coaches, you got to constantly fight that, but we're going to see what happens.
Well, one thing is last night, Collinsville was bound to determine they were going to take Spann out of the game, and, the way that they defended him last night, that's when other guys have got to rise to the occasion and step up, and as teams continue to scout Mount Vernon, you're going to see more and more of that, of teams trying to make sure they concentrate on Spann and make somebody else beat them.
Well, that's true, and that's where Amir has to help our other guys. When he's got 3 guys around him, he's got to pass it. He's got to hit guys that are open, that are capable of hitting some shots. And, I've talked to him a little bit about good players are going to make guys around him better and not force things, not try to get into our offense. And, it was going to happen. I talked to Amir that, not everybody's just going to let him go do what he wants to do. He can't get frustrated. Well, he did last night, because they didn't let him go do what he wanted to do. And, we got to get into the offense a little bit, move the basketball. And, unfortunately in our society that everybody's thinking about how many points you score. And I never talk about with our kids about how many points they score. I try to talk about, hey, playing defense, making hustle plays, blocking out, being solid, take care of the ball, passing the ball. And, sometimes when you get caught up into how many points you got or you don't have, bad things can happen. But Collinsville's a really, really good basketball team. They make it really hard on you, hard to stop, hard to get off the glass. And 13 played really, really well last night. I mean, he's coming off some pinned down screens and just hitting threes, and that makes him pretty good.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Yeah, that's the thing about high school basketball. It's a challenge every day, and you got to kind of forget what happened last night, and you got to come out and be prepared for today. And sometimes that's a big challenge because, like you said, it's easy to maybe get down and be depressed about things, but you got to pick yourself up and go, and it's just kind of that way in life and everything you do.
Yep, You're exactly right. And, like I said, if we stub our toe today and don't play well or don't win today, we just we got to get ready for Marion to Smith. You just keep working. That's the only thing I know to do.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to ask you to put your athletic director hat on for just a moment. I don't know if you're aware or familiar with the craziness that happened at Alton last night, or if you've seen that video or whatever. But that's a bad situation. That fight that broke out over there, and people in the stands getting involved, and now there's suspensions, and there's going to be teams forfeiting games today. And as an athletic director, I'm sure that has to weigh on you and concern you of the direction that sometimes culture is taking us now.
Well, I did see the video, and I did tell our coaches, I said, well, Collinsville maybe it's not out of us, but at least we didn't have a brawl.
Yeah. Well,
the one official, I don't know. I think that was Gary Gustafson. I don't know if he got hit.
He got knocked down, right?
He got rolled pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he got dazed a little bit because I think he hit his head on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That's just bad stuff. It's a shame, but that's where we're at. It's where we're at in our world and our society. So, I've got a lot of things to say about that, but I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I understand. All right. Well, we'll just leave it at that, and we'll let you go so you can prepare for the game today. But we appreciate your time, Doug, and go get them today. Good luck against both Heron and Carterville, okay?
All right, we're going to try.
All right, good luck. Thank you. Appreciate it, and bye-bye. That's Coach Doug Creel of the Mount Vernon Rams, and we could have got off on a side note there and talked a long time about that, I'm sure, because he does have some things and some opinions I'm sure that he would like to perhaps weigh in on, and it's just a bad situation if you saw that.
I think you're going to see more of it, Randy.
Yeah.
I hate to say that,
but
I really think when you sit around at some of these games, matter of fact, one of the parents this week at a junior high girls game in Hamilton County got thrown out of a basketball game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just hard to imagine that people get this wound up and bent out of shape about things.
Mm-hmm.
They've just lost sight and lost focus of what's really going on. And, what was more disappointing to me is what this gentleman does for a living and then to act like that.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Yeah, I understand.
It just pretty amazing.
Well, that thing over in Alton, I mean, that was the host school involved. That was Alton involved with Riverview Gardens, and I mean, it was out of control. And not only the referees nor the coaches could contain it, and it spilled out into the stands. And you had the PA announcer trying to calm everybody down and encouraging people not to get involved, and it escalated so quickly.
Yep.
And it was out of control, and.
You can't have enough security people there.
Yeah.
That escalated so fast.
Mm-hmm.
It was out of control before. I mean, it was just like pouring gasoline on a match.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that, again, that game was suspended, and the games that they're supposed to play in today, Alton and Riverview Gardens, they're already taking a forfeit on it, so those two teams will not even hit the floor today. But even still, I think the other teams that are still there in that tournament, they got to wonder, what are we walking into today?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of environment are we walking into today if we go play games at that tournament today? I'm wondering if there's not going to be –
it makes you not want to go.
A team or two want to back off and not even go.
Because the society we live in today, there may be retaliations, and some idiot may come in there and decide, hey, I'll just show them today.
Yeah.
You just never know. I pray to the good Lord upstairs that nothing like that goes on, but I'm telling you, in today's age, there's not many surprises anymore.
No, and I'm sure they're going to have beefed up security there today. Even though those two teams aren't playing, I hope they have beefed up security today. And from an official standpoint, I don't know if that officiating crew is supposed to go back there today or not, but they've got to be thinking twice about it.
And that's why people aren't wanting to get involved in things, Randy. Right there's a prime example.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how the IHSA handles this.
Yeah, if anything is handed down beyond what the schools themselves have done. Yeah, okay. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk to Coach Jim Corrona of the Wayne City Indians as they'll be playing in the third-place game tonight down at the Christopher Thanksgiving Tournament as they got off to a good start. We'll talk to him next, coming up on the Sports Couch after station identification and a word from our sponsors.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Are you going out of town for a vacation or a weekend getaway? What are you going to do with your dog? That's easy. There's Jaggers Doggy Daycare in Mount Vernon. Jaggers Doggy Daycare is your one-stop shop for overnight dog boarding, doggy daycare, as well as dog grooming and obedience dog training. It's your dog's home away from home, and they will thrive, and they'll get one-on-one attention by a great staff. More information is available on the web at jaggersdoggydaycare.com. Jaggers Doggy Daycare, 414 Main Street in Mount Vernon.
This is your home for best Christian music.
WVYN, Blueford, Wayne City, Fairfield, Mount Vernon.
And now on Translator, W288CO Centralia, broadcasting at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
The best Christian music, 90.9 The Vine. Real Life Radio thanks Fairfield Printing and Graphics for their partnership in local Christian radio ministry. Fairfield Printing and Graphics offers custom sizing for banners and signs, as well as yard signs, corrugated signs, and metal signs. Fairfield Printing and Graphics also specializes in custom t-shirts, business cards, wedding invitations, hats, bags, and much more. They are located at number 5 Williamson Drive in Fairfield, and their phone number is 842-4048.
Sometimes you need an attorney who can look out for your interest. Located just a short drive away in Mount Vernon, Olson & Reeves offer a free consultation to discuss your needs. Everything is discreet and confidential. At Olson & Reeves, they can provide you with consultation and assistance with traffic law and DUIs, estate planning, living wills, divorce, real estate contracts, personal injury and accidents, as well as medical malpractice. Call Olson & Reeves, attorneys at law in Mount Vernon at 316-7322. Welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio. And also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We have live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. The Wayne City Indians, of course, under new coach Jim Corrona this year, and they are playing in the Christopher Thanksgiving Tournament, and they got a big win over Waltonville in their first game, and then, they almost knocked off the host Christopher Bearcats in the semifinal, and that game went down to the wire, but they lost narrowly, so they'll be playing for third place later on tonight, and joining us on the phone is head coach of the Indians, Jim Corrona. Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Well, we're doing just fine, and congratulations on the good start here by your Indians. Boy, you've had a couple of exciting games to start the season.
Yeah, it's been really fun. You know, our kids really play hard, and they listen well, and it's been really a lot of fun. It really has.
You know, that is so important, the fact that you say they listen well and they're coachable, and I think we touched upon that last week when we visited, that that is so important, is that kids today be coachable, because if they are, great things can happen, and obviously they are already.
Well, that's really the key, and that we can, help these kids grow and learn. And but they've hit our 3 goals every game. To play together, to play determined, and be good sports. So I tell them every day, we're winners if we do those 3 things. And the W's will take care of themselves if you keep those 3 goals at the top of your list.
Well, I like that. I like that philosophy and those 3 goals. How about you, Danny?
Yeah. Great.
That's good stuff. All right, well, let's walk back through these games that you played. First of all, let's begin with that Waltonville game, which you won 59-50 to open the tournament. Walk us through that one, Jim.
Well, we started out really good, and they changed defenses on us, and even though we knew it was coming, we didn't handle it very well. And then we just, really showed a lot of determination, at the end of the ball game. And, the key to that one was, we had talked what wins ball games, and not letting people march to the free throw line is a big factor. And I tell them every day, if any ball game that is decided by 10 points or less, you can go right to the free throw line and see where it was won. Our goal is to make more free throws than they shot, and that's exactly what we did. We made 13, and they only shot 9. So we kept them off the free throw line. They're a good free throw shooting team, and basically things were pretty even with Waltonville, except at the free throw line. We just did not reach, grab, try to block shots, and that wins ball games for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Then you took on the Christopher team on their floor at their tournament, and wow, what a wild one that was. 65-63, the final as the Bearcats edge you out. But walk us through that game.
Well, that was really exciting. It was a great game. They played well. We always have a post game, and then we have a post day game on that one. In that ball game, when it's so close and it's overtime and it comes down usually to the last shot, what really lost it for us there was, we had a 19% turnover ratio, and anytime you hover around 20%, it's really hard to win when you turn it over 1 out of every 5 times. And a lot of those were unforced turnovers. In other words, Christopher didn't have anything to do with that turnover. We just made a mistake. And so when you got that, and then, they handled us on the boards 55%. They got 55%. We got 45. So couple those two together. And, the riddle that we gave our kids yesterday before we met was, how can you shoot 65 from the 2 and close to 50% from the 3 and still lose the game? And a couple of them came up with it really said, Coach, we got out-rebounded, and we turned the ball over. And I said, exactly, that's the answer to that riddle.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to tell them the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is knowing what to do. Wisdom is carrying it out. So I'm a firm believer that when you lose a ball game, if you go back and see what lost it for you, then you learn from it. So hopefully we'll be better rebounders tonight. And we'll take care of the ball a little bit better because we'll have to. North City, Omaha plays a great man-to-man defense, what we call a sagging, prevent, pack line defense. They're really good, so it'll be a good test for us.
Your team ought to match up well with this NCOE Fighting Cardinal team tonight. That should be a great game over there in that third-place game.
It'll be good. They don't make any mistake. It'll be interesting. I've seen them play twice now. It'll be interesting to see how they attack our matchup zone because both games that I scouted them, they've played man. So they may run their man, what we call their man offense, but, that matchup is half zone, half man. So I'm sure he watched our ball game. I'm sure he'll try some of the stuff that host team Christopher used, but we'll be ready for it. It'll be a great game.
I noticed that North City actually was leading Thompsonville last night for a while. I think they even led the game at halftime last night before Thompsonville came back and beat them. Yeah,
that was my second time seeing Thompsonville. So I'm thinking, well, Thompsonville should have this. I'd say they'll probably win by 10, but here I am. I'm thinking to myself, am I scouting the wrong team? Because we're actually going to play the losing team that night.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to start writing some things on Thompsonville, but the press hurt. For some reason, the press hurt North City, and it changed the momentum. It was about a 7-point swing there in about 2 minutes at the end of the third, start of the fourth, and they just kind of lost their pizzazz. But North City looked really good against a strong Thompsonville team.
Yeah. So what's the keys to the victory tonight as you take on NCOE? What's the Indians got to do to come out with a win tonight in that third-place game?
Well, number one, just do a little bit better job of taking care of the basketball. North City's going to man us. They're going to play that pack line. So what we've got to do, the last couple of days in practice, we've been speeding. In other words, we're running the offense at 85 miles an hour. The speed limit's 55. So we're just, we're trying so hard. We just need to be a little bit patient, in our timing, which, we've only been together 13 days. We talk about putting bricks in a winning wall. We're on this will be brick 14, so really haven't been together. And since I was on the road a lot in preseason and didn't get to see him a lot, so I've told him we've come a long way in 13 days. So we just want to keep it going. Just want to keep it going and keep playing hard.
All right, and that's a 6 o'clock game tonight, I believe, right?
Yeah, it should be a great atmosphere down there tonight. Both teams travel well, and that tournament's well attended, so it should be a great atmosphere down there tonight.
Oh yeah, should be a packed house. The home team will be playing for a championship, so they'll be in the seats. Great Southern Illinois basketball tonight, that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time this morning, and good luck with that game tonight in third place, and go get them. All right.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Jim Corrona, head coach of the Wayne City Indians, and I like his philosophy, and I like how he is able to kind of sit down and with the kids and really kind of educate them and let them tell him why did we lose that game? What did we do wrong?
Well, if they realize it, you can tell them, but a lot of times they don't. They don't grasp that. But if they realize what it does, that's a big step in the right direction.
And it appears to me that they have come a long way in just 13 days. It really does. So,
that just goes back to my point about all this summer playing and all these things do. You know what? It didn't used to be that way. And I guarantee you the quality of basketball was a lot better than it is now. So do we just go play and continue to keep making the same mistakes, or are we doing this practice and trying to get better and correct ourselves? I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that we just go and play, and we play all these games and do all this running around, and we can stand up here and beat our chest and pound our heads and say we were in the gym all summer. But did we really get any better?
Well, if you've got bad habits, okay, and you just keep going out and going out and going out, and you keep doing those bad habits in summer ball, all you're doing is accentuating the bad habits, aren't you?
Yep. And in this travel basketball, all it's done is create a whole bunch of individuals.
It has done that. It's
just like Doug said this morning, one of the things that you have to battle now as a coach is this me society. There's no me in team. There's no I in team.
Pouting, I think he's the term he used. Is that, we've got a society of pouters today.
Well, I heard a guy the other night say, I can't believe my son ain't getting to play more than he's getting to play. I spent $5,000 this summer running around on travel basketball, and he played every game and started every game and all this, and he can't even be the starting five on this group.
Unbelievable.
I just thought, well, okay.
Oh, I could make some comments on that one, but maybe I better not.
It just something about entitlement.
Yeah,
ain't there something they talk about entitlement?
Yeah, you're opening a can of worms there, Danny, for sure. But I think there's a lot of people that are nodding their head in agreement with you this morning, so that is for sure. Hey, when we come back, we're going to visit with Coach Scott McElravy of the Fairfield Mules. They're off to a good start at the Capital Classic up in Lawrence County. They won their first two games. They might play for the championship tonight. We'll talk to them about that coming up next. Stay tuned.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
It's the heating season, and Wayne White Propane and Sporting Goods reminds you that they have fast, reliable propane delivery service to your home or farm. And if you need those propane bottles filled up, you can bring them to Wayne White Propane and Sporting Goods for fast service. Looking for a wide selection of guns and ammunition? You'll find it at Wayne White Propane and Sporting Goods. You can even search online through our website at WayneWhitePropane.com. And don't forget, we also have hot tubs and supplies for your hot tub as well at Wayne White Propane and Sporting Goods. located on West Main Street in Fairfield.
Music and Ministry on the Vine is provided by Tony Wilt State Farm Insurance Agency in Mount Vernon. Tony Wilt State Farm Insurance Agency specializes in providing your life, health, auto, and home insurance, as well as complete financial services. They are located at 4121 South Water Tower Place in Mount Vernon. Their phone number is 242-1421, and their website is TonyWilt.com. We are grateful for their underwriting support.
You've heard the old saying, practice makes perfect. Well, there's actually a lot of truth to that, and you can get one-on-one instruction in baseball, softball, basketball, as well as speed and agility drills at the Sports Zone in Fairfield. The Sports Zone has been in business for quite some time now and has helped many area boy and girl athletes excel in their sport of choice. Lessons and practice times are available at convenient times that meet your schedule. The Sports Zone is located on Delaware Street in Fairfield, and we appreciate their support. Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio and streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson live in studio along with Danny Anselment. We're talking about a lot of the area high school basketball teams this morning as well as some of the turkey tournaments going on. Well, today is the final day of the Lawrence County Capital Classic up in both Lawrenceville and at Red Hill High School. And the Fairfield Mules start off very good with a 2-0 record after day number 1. And joining us right now is head coach Scott McElravy. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Randy.
Hey, you got to be real happy with the way your team has played those first 2 games, winning a couple of games against some former NEC teams, beating both Olney and also getting a win against Lawrenceville. So congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
And today you take on another old NEC foe as the Salem Wildcats loom on your first game this morning.
Yeah, we talked at the beginning of the year that for the second year in a row, we'd had a guaranteed play everybody in the NEC again this year throughout the year, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it really is. Well, talk about your 2 wins yesterday. Again, you faced a very good Olney team in that game number 2 who had won their first game against Salem, and of course they had some size that you had to contend with. So whichever game you want to start with, just kind of walk us through how things went for the Mules yesterday.
Well, the Lawrenceville game, I think we had some first game jitters a little bit. We turned it over way too many times. Just kind of a lot of times out of excitement, not thinking. But it wasn't, the kids weren't playing hard. They were playing super hard. Our defense led to a lot of turnovers and fast breaks for us, but a lot of times we turned it right back over. I will say Lawrenceville was more athletic than what I thought they'd be, though, so they gave us a good test to start out with.
Okay, and then into that Olney game, walk us through that one. You win that one by 7 points, 59-52.
Yeah, they're just a very well-coached team. Coach Flanagan, very good coach, very disciplined. I'm super proud of our kids' defensive effort once again in that game. I thought we did a good job of taking them out of their sets. I mean, they're really precise as far as what they run, and I think we bother them enough to where, hopefully it disrupted some of the timing and whatnot in their plays. And, they're a good team. The Hatton kid's a nice player. Coach Flanagan's son can really shoot it. And they've got a 6'7" kid in the middle, sophomore, that's going to be a good player, too. So that was a good win for us. Kids never quit. One thing we need to work on throughout the first 2 games, our free throw percentage, I think that would get better. We have decent shooters. We just haven't shot a ton of them yet, and our percentage hasn't been great. But that was a big win. We knew they were going to be a tough team.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, is what your takeaways are after the first 2 games, what you feel like your strengths are after those first 2 games, and what maybe some of your weaknesses are, or things that you need to work on.
Defensively, we're really happy so far. We're disruptive. We're causing a lot of turnovers, which, with this group, that was one of the things we said we needed to hang our hat on with our defense and let our defense, turn the other team over and read the fast break opportunities. So I'm really happy with that. Offensively, too many turnovers right now, but when you are playing faster, you are going to give it up a few more times, and we'll get better with that. But big test this morning in Salem. If we can get a win, we know we get a play later on that night in the championship against probably T-Town. If we lose, we still have a chance, but our free throw percentage will probably hurt us. So we just got to take care of business today.
Yeah, that's true. You do have to take care of business. And Salem comes in at 1-1 today. They got a win over Lawrenceville last night in overtime, but they lost to Olney. But you know that Coach Fehrenbacher will have the Wildcats ready to go for you this morning.
Yeah, a lot of respect for Coach Fehrenbacher. He's a great coach, very disciplined. His kids will play good, hard-nosed man defense. They played a little zone yesterday, too. You know, they lost some kids from last year, but, you know, they play 3A schedule. You know, so they're used to playing good teams all the time. So we expect their best. It's going to be a good game.
Well, how about the rotation? How did that go for you in those first 2 games? Because we mentioned at the top of the season that you got probably 8 or 9 guys that you could start any of them, and you're going to be running a lot of guys in and out. How did that flow for you in those first 2 games?
Oh, yeah, it's tough. It really is. It's tough because, I mean, we got some great bench support, you know, from Luke Dagg, Landon Gerlini, you know, I mean, Cody Kentra. They all came in and did well. I still feel like we have a couple other kids we can throw into the rotation. You know, our starters, everybody played well in the Olney game, you know, starters and reserves alike. So that's going to be an evolving process. You know, you're going to have sickness. You're going to have little minor injuries here and there. So, you know, that'll tweak you a little bit. But, yeah, we tell the kids, you better be ready to go if your number's called. So, you know, 4 games in 2 days is tough. So, you know, everybody will be fighting fatigue a little bit today. So, you know, who knows?
Well, yeah, you're right. That depth could really help you today if fatigue comes into play, particularly in tonight's game. And the other thing is that if you get into foul trouble, that depth really is important if you get into foul trouble.
Absolutely. You know, being able to trade fouls with other teams is great. I mean, you don't want to just put them to the line, but, you know, if you've got guys that are sitting with 2 and they play 6 and their top guys have 2 or 3, that's a big deal. You know, I feel like our second lineup, you know, for most games is stronger than the other team's second. So that's a good luxury we're going to have this year, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, your game's at 10 o'clock this morning. We'll let you go so you can get ready for that, but we appreciate your time this morning, Coach. Congratulations on those first 2 wins, and hopefully you're playing tonight at 8 o'clock in that championship game.
We've never done it before, so that's the goal. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Good luck. Bye-bye. That is Scott McElravy, head coach of the Fairfield Mules, and it sounds like he's pretty happy with the way his team's playing so far, Danny.
Well, you know, they've got off to a good start over there, and they've got things just rolling in every sport at Fairfield right now.
Yeah, don't they? Winning is contagious at Fairfield right now.
A winning breeds winning.
Yeah, it sure does. The Lady Mules are playing up at the tournament Robinson. I think they've won 1 and lost 1 up there, but of course before that they had won their first 2 games of the season, so things are going pretty good for them as well. So, yeah, it's a winning philosophy there in Fairfield right now, and you're right, winning breeds winning.
Yeah, you know, these athletes are involved in all the sports, and it just seems to really just keep carrying over.
And they're cheering each other on, which is kind of cool. You see the boys going to the girls' sports and the girls going to the boys' sports. So.
Yep.
Yeah, that's neat. Hey, we got one more guest to squeeze in here on the show. We're going to talk girls basketball coming up as it's the final day of the Hamilton County Invitational Tournament here at Thanksgiving time, and Coach Clint Winemiller and his Lady Foxes are off to a 3-0 start. And we will talk to Coach Winemiller coming up next here on the Sports Couch, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Are you going out of town for a vacation or a weekend getaway? What are you going to do with your dog? That's easy. There's Jaggers Doggy Daycare in Mount Vernon. Jaggers Doggy Daycare is your one-stop shop for overnight dog boarding, doggy daycare, as well as dog grooming and obedience dog training. It's your dog's home away from home. They will thrive, and they'll get one-on-one attention by a great staff. More information is available on the web at jaggersdoggydaycare.com. Jaggers Doggy Daycare, 414 Main Street in Mount Vernon. Hamilton County Flooring on the south side of the square in McLeansboro offers a full line of flooring, cabinets, and countertops for your home or business. Countertops or showers are available in granite, quartz, corian, custom marble, or ceramic tile. Their showroom includes a complete line of flooring available in ceramic tile, cork, bamboo, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and carpeting, including name brands such as Armstrong, Bruce, Marazzi, Mulligan, Shaw, and Tarkett. We thank Hamilton County Flooring Scoring in McLeansboro for their support. Sometimes you need an attorney who can look out for your interest. Located just a short drive away in Mount Vernon, Olson & Reeves offer a free consultation to discuss your needs. Everything is discreet and confidential. At Olson & Reeves, they can provide you with consultation and assistance with traffic law and DUIs, estate planning, living wills, divorce, real estate contracts, personal injury and accidents, as well as medical malpractice. Call Olson & Reeves, attorneys at law in Mount Vernon at 316-7322. Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net. Live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org, and of course you can also listen on our free mobile app as well that you can download from the Vine. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. We're going to shift gears here a little bit, talk some girls high school basketball right now. It's the final day of the Hamilton County Invitational Tournament. And joining us right now is head coach of the Lady Foxes. He's also the athletic director there, and that's Clint Winemiller. Good morning, Clint. How are you?
Good morning.
Hey, you got to be happy with the way things are going so far in the tournament for your Lady Foxes.
Yes, this is, anytime you have a Thanksgiving in the middle of a tournament, I think we've played pretty well, especially on the defensive end. It's gotten much better since last Friday night.
Yeah, Coach, your team has come out this week, and a lot of things have went pretty good. I was very impressed with Anna Miller last night. She really stepped up her defensive game. She's a great defender anyway, but the Akers girl from Lawrenceville, she just frustrated her all night long.
She did, and she has all season. The first 5 games, we've put her on what we feel is their better offensive player, and she has done a tremendous job. I compare her to when I was a child, and my dad and I went to the river, and we spent the night. And somehow we slept in a truck, and while we were in that truck, there was this mosquito, and it pestered us all night. And I'm comparing Anna Miller to that mosquito when I was 13 years old.
Well, my wife said last night, she reminds her of Taylor Spicuzza. Taylor used to kind of be the same way. She was just a constant pest and frustrated teams, and she said Anna plays just like Taylor.
Good. That's quite a compliment for Anna Miller. She was on a very good team. We knew going into that game last night that just from the stats that we had seen that Lawrenceville had really shot the ball well from the three-point, or had made a lot of threes. I think they'd made 16 going into last night, and I think last night we held them to 2. And I thought that was a big difference to try to keep them out of their offense. A lot of that had to do with Anna Miller and the pressure that she puts just constantly there. She's extremely quick, great instincts, quick hands, can get from one end to the other pretty fast. And I thought she did a great job, and she's going to have to do that again today, this morning, and then again tonight.
Your Lady Foxes team, Clint, has shot free throws very well this week. That's always a key thing. At halftime last night, Yuns were 9 out of 12, and they were 3 out of 12.
That's been a nice surprise, and I think the 2 we missed is because the guy sitting next to me said, hey, I don't think we've missed. And about that, every time he said that, we missed. So he didn't think they're 11 or 12. So,
maybe you need to get a muzzle for him.
It just made it to me, so I thought it to death. But we have done very well. This is kind of a new territory for us because in the past we've not shot free throws very well, and hopefully we continue to do that because the kids that are getting fouled a lot have to go there. The Dodsons, the Millers, Trees, every one of our 5 that start are very aggressive getting to the rim, so they have to be able to step up and hit our free throws. I thought Kobe Brake, he had 1 field goal last night, but had 7 to 10 free throws. So 70% we would take. That's quite a accomplishment for us to shoot that high.
Another thing I've noticed about your team this week is been very, very balanced. When I looked at scores and look up there at the scoreboard, a lot of weapons in that first 5.
Yes, the game that we learned a lot from is I didn't think we shared the ball on fast breaks. Last Friday against Vienna, we would get out 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, and we would try to play hero ball and not not take what the defense was giving us, which would have been a pass to wide open person for a shot. I think this week so far we have done a very good job of sharing the ball. We do have 5 kids that any night can score points, and I think every night this week it's been somebody different. Last night it was Dodson. Miller's been steady. Creel has been steady. Brake has been right up there with 8 to 10 every night. And then you look at our overall stats, and most kids have been right there at the 60 to 40. So, yes, very balanced, very pleased. What is going to have to happen is the kids that come into the game and to sub. I mean, right now their defense is ahead of their offense, but they have got to be able to make their free throws, and they've got to make up their layups. Our season is not going to go the way I think it can go if we don't get some contributions from those kids that come in the game.
Well, I'd have to agree, Coach. You know, you got a lot of young kids on your bench, and this week's been a good week for them because they've got quite a few opportunities to get in there and get some playing time, and hopefully it's going to give them a chance that to work on some things they're needing to work on. But it's also good for them to get in there and play because when you've subbed 1 or 2 in at a time, and you've left them out there with some of your key players, and that has to make them better when they have the opportunity to do that.
Well, that's what we hope is it makes them better, and I think playing with some of those older kids will help them in the long run. Right now I see a lot of things that we need to work on, especially with our younger kids. When it comes to the defensive end, and on the offensive end, we got to be stronger with the ball, and we got to be able to get some positive things. I think last night, the last 4 minutes, we didn't score to end the game. We had some good looks. The ball just didn't go in. So once those kids get a little more confidence and comfortable playing out there in a varsity game, and I know it's a big difference from junior high basketball, and we were deep last year, so a lot of our freshman kids didn't play a lot. But as that comes along, you know, we're trying to be patient, but at the same time, we want them to make leaps instead of hops. And hopefully that will come sooner than later.
Well, looking at some things that's going to go on, you and Edwards County are both undefeated headed into this morning's actions, and looks like both teams, if they take care of business, are going to head into that 8 o'clock matchup tonight with 4-0 records, and that should be a great atmosphere because it looks to me like these two teams match up very well.
Yes, you know, this is a big game because this is also a conference game, and we did that, you know, because of the travel for Edwards County, so they have to make 2 trips down here. So this will be huge, but we can't look past the Galatias and the Lawrencevilles this morning. But you know, regardless of that, it still will be a conference game, and it may be for the championship of this. So they are pretty good. They're quick. They're probably a little quicker than we are. They have some kids that can shoot the ball. They remind me of a lot of last week when we played a Massac County team that was pretty good size. They were fast, had some kids that shot the ball, and that's what Edwards County reminds me of. Smittler is a very good post player, long, athletic, has very good moves inside and just go up and finish, and we got to keep her off the boards and do a nice job on her. And the same thing, then they kick out, and then they got kids that can shoot the ball. So they're the total package when it comes to Edwards County, and it'll be a good test for us.
Well, should be a great day of basketball down there, but I'm going to ask you to switch hats. Randy done this a while ago with a coach that's also an athletic director. I'm sure you saw the video of what happened over at Alton last night with that brawl, and I'm sure that as an athletic director, that's something that's always in the back of your mind and has to be a big concern for you.
Oh, a huge concern. Yeah, I watched the video last night. Wow. You know, you hope that never happens. It's getting to the point where I think it's becoming more common. Maybe not to that extent, because I think that spelled over in the stands. And you know what can the refs do? And then I think of, you know, we try to keep all these games covered on the road with our administration, but you never expect something like that to just go totally.
It escalated so fast.
Yeah, it went from just looked like a foul to all of a sudden it was a brawl. Hopefully we have some plans in place to handle that. I know we have security people here. We have, especially at our boys' games, we have a lot of administration here. But I don't know if you can ever prepare for that until after the fact, because you never expect that to happen. hopefully that never happens in one of our games. Hopefully we're class enough to walk away instead of just to let it escalate like that. But then, the coach, we don't have many coaches, and then the fans are involved, and I hear the PA guy hollering, fans stay out of it, and that's a tough situation. Like I said, I've done this for 12 years. We've never had anything like that, not to say that it won't happen, and I hope that it never happens, because I just don't know how you can prepare for something like that, especially when it escalates so fast.
Yeah, when I saw that, it was pretty disheartening. But when I sat around in gyms and broadcast gyms, and I watched some of the things that go on in the stands around me anymore, I'm thinking, it's pretty sad, the state that things have got to.
Yeah, yes, it is. I'm not sure how it got to that. I know in the referee has quite a shortage.
Well, and things like last night doesn't help that, because one of the officials got plummeted, and he's really lucky he didn't get hurt bad, because not only did he take a bad bang to the head, but he almost got stomped on and trampled on by that mob of people that was influxing to the floor.
Yes, exactly. That was just a tough situation, and I know that after this year we're going to lose a few more officials, and then people that see that, they're probably going to think, is this really worth $60, $70 to get to be in the middle of this? And I think it's going to be harder and harder to find refs. I think it's going to be, they're in a no-win situation. You got half the crowd for them and half of them against them. Hopefully that people can just understand it. At the end of the day, it's just a game. Two teams just need to go out and try to compete to the best that they can, and then after the game, shake hands. And every game that we go to, the first thing they say is about sportsmanship. Every meeting we've had out there in the center, we talk about sportsmanship. And last night, I think we lost a lot of that, and it's kind of a black eye for the game of basketball this morning.
Yeah, and like I said, for you as an athletic director, it has to be very sleepless, restless night when you see something like that, because you're thinking, what if? And I'm like you. Hopefully that's the last incident we have, but I don't know. It's pretty scary to sit here and think about what could be.
Yes, exactly. And I think of, I just think of when we have rival games here, when we play the team south of us, the team to the north of us, the team to the east of us. Those are all big games, and they're kind of rival games. I don't know if that would ever happen. I think our kids and those kids have more sense than to just play as hard as you can, leave it out on the floor, than to let it escalate. But you never know in the heat of the moment what's going to happen. But hopefully cooler heads prevail.
We were doing a junior high girls state game over at Wren Lake a couple years ago involving Hamilton County and a team from Centralia. And one of the parents jumped up and ran out on the floor in the middle of this game, and actually probably cost those girls that deal. But that's all it takes is for one person to do something stupid like that, and then it really turns into a big deal.
Yeah, I think that's the only incident we really had, and that was at a state tournament game, which is kind of sad because that was for third and fourth, and it probably did cost them the game.
Yeah, that just goes to show you how fast, you think you can have the kids under control, but sometimes it's the people sitting in the stands.
Yeah, yes. I think they're always going to know more than the coaches, and they sure know more than the refs. They see it all. It's a tough situation. Just cheer your kids on, and then just shake hands at the end of the day, win or lose.
Well, you can't lose focus that this is not you're not playing for life or death here. They're not going to take the losing team and line them up in front of a firing squad. It's just it's a game. Yeah, we all want to win. If you don't want to win in life, you're going to get stepped on. But you can't lose the reality of what this really amounts to here in the term of things. We were talking earlier about some of this travel ball and things and what people think that allows them to do. But really, of all the kids that play basketball or baseball or softball, 1% is going to get a scholarship to a D1 school.
That's right. That's not very many. I mean, even you could be the absolute best. I know there's some kids. There was a kid last year from Gallatin County who scored over 2,000 points, and I don't think she went anywhere to play. Morgan Griffith from West Frankfort scored a lot of points in girls basketball. She no longer plays, but she's helping out with the varsity girls team there at West Frankfort. So, you could be outstanding and score a lot of points and still only 1%. That's 1 out of every 100. Yeah, your chances aren't real good, so you better just play it, give it all you can, while you can, and these 4 years of high school will fly by.
That's right. Enjoy the moment while you can and don't give up the opportunity.
Exactly.
Well, Coach, we need to run. Want to wish you the best of luck tonight. Today, you got a tip off at 11:25 today, and then at 8 o'clock tonight, you'll be taking on the Lady Lions of Edwards County, and best of luck to your Foxes today.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time, Clint. Good luck. Take care. Bye-bye. Clint Winemiller, the head coach and athletic director at Hamilton County High School. Yeah, 1%, that's the number that some of these parents need to understand and realize that, you can spend all the money you want on travel ball and go and stand in the hotels every weekend so Johnny or Susie can play, baseball or softball or basketball. That doesn't mean that's going to equate
doesn't guarantee them anything.
Doesn't mean it's going to equate to a college scholarship. And he just gave you a couple examples right there of two outstanding athletes who are all-time leading scorers for their respective schools, and they're not playing basketball.
I think back a few years ago, Randy, Nashville, Wayne Harry had a girl. April York was her name. I mean, this gal was a flat ball player. In high school, she was a dominant player. She wound up going to Wren Lake College, and she played basketball, and April was a good player. But this gal went from probably scoring 30 points a game. She went to Wren Lake College, and she was just kind of average.
Yeah.
She made 10 or 12 points a game, and, every level gets to be so much tougher that you can think you're an All-American. And, I'll say one thing for my parents. They never one time question anything that Dave Lee did. And matter of fact, if I ever questioned anything, my dad always told me there was one way we could alleviate that problem.
That's right.
Just take your stuff and tell the coach you're not tough enough to play for him, and come home, and me and you'll do some work around here.
That's right. That's the way the society has changed today, though, hasn't it?
Now, it's just that way in everything.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. Hey, we're out of time. We're going to get out of here, but we want to thank all the guests we had on the show today. Coaches Russ Gerlach, Doug Creel, Jim Corrona, Scott McElravy, and Clint Winemiller. Hope that you have enjoyed the show today, and we'll come back next Saturday and do it again. Another edition of the Sports Couch next Saturday morning at 8:30. And, Danny, you got broadcast today on FoxesFans.net?
Tonight at 8 o'clock, we'll have the Lady Foxes, and next week we're going to go to Goreville, and we'll have Doug Miller's debut as head coach of the Hamilton County
Foxes. The Foxes will be in action.
5:30 on Monday night.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll have wall-to-wall Christmas music for you the rest of the day right here on Positive Hits Radio. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Streaming 24/7 on your mobile device.